Rahman Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, RIPSR, Tepesia Sonapur, Assam, welcomes you all for the new session. So the session, it is going to start from the first week of November, and the old batches as well as the new batches of this college, they are going to resume their academic activities very soon. So in this presentation, we are going to highlight some of the precautionary measures that all the students, faculties, as well as the non-teaching staff, they are going to follow to combat the pandemic and to resume all our activities in a normal way. So let's start. As an introduction to the COVID-19, we all know that this COVID-19, it is caused by the virus which belongs to the coronavirus family, and this virus, it has reported to cause the disease earlier in the animal. Now it has been found in the humans too. For example, in the year 2002 the SARS, and in the year 2011 the MERS, both these diseases are caused by the virus from this coronavirus family. The causative agent for this disease, it has become a pandemic now. It is known as the SARS-CoV-2. That is, the COVID-19, it is generally caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2, and this disease, it is known as the COVID-19. So we all know that the spiky protein that is present in the SARS-CoV-2, it differs from the SARS virus that has been detected in the year 2002 just by 2%. And this SARS-CoV-2 virus, the spikes which are present over the surface of the virus, they are now 2% differ from the SARS virus which has been detected in the year 2002, and they have a better adhesion to the human cells. Thus it is more infectious to the human beings, right? And this virus, we all know that as it is a non-living entity outside the human body or a live cell, so it has a coating over its surface, and this coating actually it acts as an envelope. So when this virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus, it enters the human body, so upon getting the sufficient concentration within the human body, this virus, they somehow infiltrates the cells of the human body and make us infectious, or they turn, or they lead to the consequences, that is the COVID-19. So a pandemic, we all know that it is an epidemic which occurs worldwide. So over a very wide area, the pandemic is regarded as an epidemic which occurs over a very wide area, which crosses all the international boundaries and usually affect a large number of population. So it has been proven that this virus, it is generally transmitted by airborne droplet infections and through the contact with the infected surface. So it has been also demonstrated that the live virus, once it has get excreted from the human body through the fecal matter, within 12 days of the onset of the disease, it is not proven to be transmitted that way. So we can conclude here that even if the virus, it has been excreted from the human body via the fecal matter, after 12 days of incubation in the human body, that virus is not effective enough to enter in someone's other's body, means it is not contagious. This live virus, it is not demonstrated in the blood as well as in the urine, and it does not exhibit infectious property. So this virus, it is not transmitted by the blood or the blood product as well as by the mosquito bite or any blood-sucking parasite. Yet it is transmitted from person to person, and infectiousness of this, it begins when a person who is sick, so The person to person infection, it started when we come in close contact with a infectious person, and the infection it develops upon coming in contact with a sick person. So what are the signs and symptoms? So basically, the period between the introduction of the virus into the body till you show the symptoms, it is known as the incubation period. So suppose the virus has entered in our body, after 5 days we have shown the symptoms, the incubation period it is 5 days. So in case of the virus SARS-CoV-2, the incubation period it ranges from 4 days to 7 days, and in majority of the cases it varies, suppose from 2 days to 14 days. So what are the symptoms? We know that the symptoms, it includes the fever in 80 to 90% of the cases, cough in 60 to 70% of the cases, and gastrointestinal complaints in 40 to 50% of the cases. So person who are suffering from this COVID-19, they might have the fever, they might have the cough, as well as they might have the gastrointestinal complaint. Apart from that, the common one, that is the loss of the smell in 30 to 40% of the cases. The people, they lost the sense of smell, and shortness of breath in 20% of the cases. But not all the symptoms are necessarily be observed. Sometimes there are some person who don't even show any sort of symptoms. Those are regarded as the asymptomatic carrier. So in general, the clinical picture may exhibit itself in 4 different ways for COVID-19. Number one, it is the mild cases. So in the mild cases, the symptoms are almost non-existent, and the patient absolutely no breathing problems. So they don't have any sort of breathing problems. In the moderate cases, most of the cases of COVID-19, they are found to be moderate. Yet a person has a fever as well as radiological sign of pneumonia, and almost 80% of all the cases are in the mild and moderate group. Next is the severe cases. In the severe cases, the respiratory rate is more than 30 per minute, and the oxygen saturation level, it becomes less, about 93% at the least. So the radiological sign of the pneumonia, they grow worse by than 2 folds within 1 to 2 days, and about 14% of all cases are in this group of severe cases. So the next class, it is the critical cases. So ventilation in the ICU is required in the critical cases. The patient, they develops a shock or multiple organ failure, and fortunately about 6% of all the cases are in this group. So now, for protection against the disease, a collective social observance of the individual measures is equally as important as those of the measures themselves. It is critical for containing the spread of the disease to isolate and treat the diagnosed cases and isolate those who contact with the sick person. So it is always recommended to isolate those who had contact with a diagnosed cases. Suppose me, I have in contact with a person who has been detected positive. In such cases, I need to isolate myself. So those who has contact with a suspected cases need to be isolated until the test result of the suspected cases are available. If the test results is negative, then isolation is not needed. But if the test result is positive, then the person may be isolated for at least 14 days due to its incubation period, as because the person can show the symptoms after 14 days also. So below is a brief list of protection measures that need to be followed by everyone. Isolation and proper patient care that need to be maintained. Hand hygiene that need to be maintained, and surface cleaning as well as the waste management. So here, hand hygiene, why we always emphasize on hand hygiene, because it frequently touches our entry of the body cavity, just like our mouth eyes, nose with our hand. So if our hand it get infected or it get loaded with the virus, then this virus can enter in the human body and that can lead to the development of the COVID-19. Importance of wearing the mask and their disposal. So in social life, it is very important to use a mask that basically closes the mouth and the noses. So the mask is made up of any fabric can be used by the person just to prevent the spread of the disease, right? So now it is always recommended for healthy people to use mask, especially indoors, preferably surgical mask or even specialty mask with advanced filtration if available. To that end, the mask can filter the particles smaller than 3 microns. It gains importance in order to keep away extremely smaller virus. So the masks which are efficient enough to filter the particles of size approximately 3 micron grain, the importance in the prevention of COVID-19. So specialty masks available include the N95 mask, which is also known as the FFP1, N97 mask, which is also known as the FFP2, and N99 mask, which is also known as the FPP3. So this can filter the coronavirus. The N95 mask, they can filter the coronavirus by 95%, whereas the N97 they can filter the coronavirus by 97%, and N99 they can filter the coronavirus by 99%. And it is especially important for healthcare professionals to use the FFP2 or FFP3 mask. And these masks they can effectively use for approximately 8 hours. But after 8 hours, this mask they need to be discarded with taking utmost care. So the used mask, including the triple layer mask, N95 mask, etc., these have to be discarded and collected in a separate yellow colored coded plastic bags, which are actually meant for biomedical waste collection, and they have to be handed over this waste collector engaged by the common biomedical waste treatment facility operator at the doorstep and should be incinerated so that no traces of the viruses they remain available. Now, what are the precautionary measures that you need to follow while wearing a mask? So before wearing a mask, you need to rinse your hand or wash your hand with a alcohol based hand rub or soap and water. After that, you put the mask in your face, cover the mouth and the nose region, and don't let any gaps between the face and the mask. Avoid touching the mask while using it, and if you do so, then please wash your hand, because this upper surface of the mask may have the virus load. Then replace the mask with a new one as soon as it damp, and do not reuse a single use mask. So when a mask it becomes damp, just discard the mask. To remove the mask, remove it from the behind. Do not touch the front face and discard immediately in a closed bin. Wash your hand with alcohol based hand rub or soap and water. Now, importance of social, or you can say physical distancing. So when someone coughs or sneezes, they spray small droplets from their nose or mouth which may contain the virus. We all know that, right? So if you are too close, you can breathe this droplet, and including the COVID-19 virus. If the person is coughing, and if he has the disease, then you may feel sick. The best way to fight the spread of the virus is to stay at home and be away from your friends. If you need to have in contact, just socialize online. If you go outside or meet someone in person, make sure you keep a distance of at least 1.5 meter or about 5 feet, but preferentially we need to have a 6 feet of distance between ourselves and the person whom we are meeting. So rules for social distancing in the corridors, stairs, classroom, cafeteria, labs, washroom and hostel. So first of all, the students and the staff, they should maintain the minimum distance while taking the classes as well as other academic activities. The distance it is 6 feet. Moreover, the student should maintain the same distance while walking through the corridors, in the cafeteria, in the washroom, and even all the activities that they are performing in their hostels. So help prevent the spread of the respiratory disease like COVID-19. So first of all, stay at least 6 feet away from the partner you are talking, right? Cover your face while coughing with a tissue, with a handkerchief, or whatever it is. When in public, always wear a mask. Do not touch your eyes, nose and mouth frequently without sanitizing your hand. Clean and disinfect the frequently touched objects and surfaces. Stay at home, preferentially when you are suffering from the disease, except for the medical visit. Wash your hand often with the soap and water for at least 20 seconds. So COVID-19 has instilled a level of fear and anxiety in all of us, as it has isolated us physically. We have felt isolated mentally. So here we share how to come amid a wave of panic in us during this stage. First of all, you should stay away from the social media and up to the minute news, as because it can create a havoc in your mind regarding the spread of the disease. Know the facts, just don't follow any news. Try to know the facts, try to know the logic, try to know the science behind the facts you come across. Actively remind yourself of the reason not to worry. You remind your mind every time not to worry, that you have been isolated just to safeguard your body from the infection. Create a new routine. Just forget about the earlier routine you are following. Just create a new routine to engage your mind, to engage yourself, both physically as well as mentally. Occupy your mind with your relaxing hobbies, just like somebody likes to play games online, somebody likes to write an article, somebody likes to help in the home. Do or engage yourself in these relaxing hobbies so that your mind, it is always occupied. All right. If you are living alone, just make a call to a friend so that you can remain engaged mentally. And if you have severe anxiety, in such cases, just take help from a specialist. So, how to measure the vital and normal range of the pulse, the SpO2, the BP and temperature. So if you are staying at the home without any pulse meter, then simply by putting the two fingers, the middle finger, right, and the index fingers, you can simply measure the pulse. So the pulse, it is the normal resting heart rate for an adult. It ranges from 60 to 100 beats per minute. Just check your pulse if you are feeling any sign of the disease. Next, if you are having a pulse oximeter, then check the saturation level of the oxygen in your body. So the oxygen level or the saturation level, which is known as SpO2, it is determined just by measuring how much light it is absorbed as it passes through the fingertip. So the normal SpO2, it should be at least 95%. If your SpO2 is decreasing below the 95%, you should immediately contact a physician and report to the authority. Next, you should check your blood pressure also. So the normal blood pressure, we know that it ranges from, or it remains 120 by 80 mmHg, where 120 it is the systolic blood pressure and 80 mmHg is the diastolic blood pressure. So a high blood pressure it is considered when your pressure it rises from 140 in the systolic and 90 in the diastolic side, and a lower blood pressure it is 90 by 60. So the range of the blood pressure you can say that 90 to 60, 90 divided by 60 to 140 divided by 90. Right? Next it is the temperature. That these are the thermal guns or IR guns via which you can measure the blood temperature or your body temperature. So the normal body temperature it is 37 degrees centigrade, or you can say 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So a temperature above 38 degree, that is 100.4 degree Fahrenheit, it means that you are having a high fever and which may be caused due to the illness. So one more thing, all our students and faculties, they are needed to observe, that is the Arogya Setu. So Arogya Setu, it's a mobile app, it's available in the Google Play Store. So this application, it helps and it keeps the people informed of their potential risk of COVID-19. The government of India actually launched the Arogya Setu mobile app on April 2nd to protect the Indian citizens from the mass spread of coronavirus. This app uses a Bluetooth-based contact tracing mechanism. So this is the app, how it looks like. So you can easily download it from the Google Play Store. Now these are the activities which are to be done before the reopening of the RIPSAR, and all our staffs, they are now engaged with performing these activities. So first of all, prior to the resumptions of the activities in the RIPSAR, all the areas intended for teaching demonstrations, including the laboratories, libraries, etc., they are now sanitized with 1% sodium hypochlorite solution, and particularly attention has been given to the frequently touched surfaces. Appropriate backup of the stock of personal protection items like face cover, mask, visor, hand sanitizer, they are now made available for both the teaching and the non-teaching staff. Next, we have an adequate supply of thermal guns, alcohol wipes, as well as 1% sodium hypochlorite solution, disposable paper, towels, soap and alcohol based sanitizer. It is been now provided. Pulse oximeter, it is there to check the oxygen saturation levels of any symptomatic person, and arrangement of available amounts of the covered dustbin and trash can. Moreover, the provision for proper disposal of the used personal protective items and general waste in accordance to be made in the campus of the RIPSAR, and which is now been taking place. Housekeeping employee of the RIPSAR have been informed and they have been trained about the norms of the waste management and its disposal. The poster standees on the preventive measures of the COVID-19 are to be displayed prominently in the campus as well as in the institute building, and it is now going on. So these are some of the rules that need to be followed strictly after the reopening of the academic session from the month of the November. First of all, face covering. So wearing of the face mask is compulsory for all students and the staff of RIPSAR. The teaching faculty will ensure that they themselves as well as the students wear the mask throughout the conduct of the teaching as well as the guidance activity. Social distancing. So the students and the staff, they should maintain minimum distance while taking the classes as well as other academic activities. The minimum distance it is 6 feet. Spitting. So spitting in the classroom, laboratories, or in any gathering places within the campus of RIPSAR will be considered as a serious offense, and if anybody found while performing such activities, it is subjected for penalty. Work from home. So as far as possible, the concept of the work from home will be followed and implemented. Moreover, the screening and hygiene. The provision for the thermal screening, sanitization, hand washing with the soap or the alcohol-based sanitizer will be made at all the entry and exit platform of the RIPSR. Moreover, the frequent sanitization. So frequent sanitization of the entire workplace, common facilities, and all points which frequently comes in human contact, just like your door handles, desk bench, will be ensured for the safety of the students as well as the staff. Next, the respiratory etiquettes. This involves strict practice of covering one's mouth and nose while coughing, sneezing with a tissue handkerchief or a flexed elbow, and disposing of the used tissue properly. Self-monitoring. It is a very important criteria. The self-monitoring of the health by all the students and the staff, and reporting of any illness are raised to the principal or the vice principal of the RIPSR. Classes arrangement. So individual batches of the P.Pharm third semester, diploma second year, it to be divided in the groups or batches as per the accommodation spaces available, as well as if we resume the offline classes of the RIPSR, then the newly admitted batches, the P.Pharm first semester as well as the diploma first year, will be accommodated as per the spaces available, maintaining the minimum norms of the COVID protocol. Next, the students, the teaching as well as the non-teaching staff of the RIPSR will be advised not to visit any areas falling within the containment zone after the reopening of the institute. Moreover, instead of the biometric attendance for the faculties, alternative arrangement will be done for contactless attendance, and that has to be done at the earliest as possible. Assemblies or group discussion of the students, sports or events that can lead to the overcrowding, it is strictly prohibited in the RIPSR. And after reopening, only asymptomatic person, including the faculty, non-teaching staff and the students, are allowed in the premises of RIPSR. And if any of the person after reopening is found to be symptomatic, he or she should be immediately informed to the principal or to the vice principal and referred to the nearest hospital. Now, in case of detection of any ill person in the RIPSR after reopening, what are the 4 steps we are going to follow? These steps are also going to get followed in the hostel also. First of all, we place the ill person in a sick room or area which will be isolated from the other. Alright? Next, inform the parents or the guardians as the case may be. Then, the patient will remain isolated while wearing the mask, or you can say face cover, till such time they are examined by a doctor. Immediately the nearest medical facility to be informed. So for us, we are going to inform our parent hospital, that is the Raman Hospital, or we are going to inform the state or district helpline. Disinfection of the premises, that is the sick room, to be done if the person is found to be positive. The next is that the entry of the visitor to the campus should be strictly regulated or restricted, and if we do so, then a proper records to be maintained for the concerned by the concerned security person. The faculty members should strictly brief the students regarding the non-sharing of non-sharing of items like the notebook, pen, pencil, then eraser, water bottle amongst them. For conducting the practical session, the faculty will ensure that the equipments have been disinfected. Apart from that, particularly the frequently touched surfaces before and after use. They are to be disinfected. Moreover, overcrowding will be avoided, as well as the students should sanitize their hands before and after using the training equipments of the practical laboratories. And for that, the hand sanitizer will be provided against each workstation or against each equipment. The canteen and the mess facility within the premises of the RIPSR will remain closed after the reopening till the time everything gets normalized. For transportation facility, proper physical distancing will be maintained. Sanitization of the buses or other transport vehicles with a 1% sodium hypochlorite solution will be ensured. Daily cleaning of the floors will be taken up, and provision of soap in the toilet, hand sanitizers in other common areas in sufficient quantity must be ensured. Teaching materials like computers, laptops, printer will be disinfected with 70% alcohol wipes. Deep cleaning of all drinking and hand washing station, washroom and lavatories will be ensured by the management of the RIPSR. The student and the staff will be advised to dispose of used face mask or mask in the separate covered bins placed in the classroom, workstation or other common areas. The same may remain stored for a period of 3 days, but afterwards, these used protective gears will be discarded as per the norms. The RIPSR faculty members, they will create awareness to ensure that the students, they do not gather when leaving the school or the institute and even in their free time. The RIPSR ensure regular counseling to be done for the students reporting mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. This is all from the Raman Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research. Thank you everyone, and we hope for your full cooperation in this regard. So I welcome everyone once again to RIPSR. Thank you once again.